Have you been feeling like you want to just pause and take a breath, and yet the world around you is constantly humming? Well, I wanted to just share some words, pull some cards, get some intuitive guidance, and let's see, really, what is this quest, this journey that we're all on? What is it about? And I think as we go into this energy together, the invitation here to just have an open mind, an open heart, and connect down to the earth, because inside of you, when you are grounded, is that true inner knowing. So let's get into it. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name's Fola, and I'm really excited to be here. And I just felt this inspiration to come on camera today, share a bit about kind of where I'm at, and hopefully inspire those of you who have been feeling the same. You know, we aren't these individual beings just walking around. We truly are collective energies going through a shared human experience. And what's going on for me right now is this honoring of my body, honoring of my energy, honoring my femininity, which, you know, coming from like a spiritual lens, all humans have masculine and feminine energy. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you're a woman or identifying as a woman. It's that there is this part of you that has a more feminine, more receptive, more kind of way of receiving and being, dare I call it, passive to the world, kind of like responding to the world around. And I am learning that this really is part of a quest. This was the first card that came out prior to me going on camera here. And I love the image here of this older, like wise woman who stands before two paths. And it looks as though she's like linked here. I would say this was like Bina, the great mother, because this is like ocean or water, a stream sort of moving from her body, feeding into her robe. And thus we see those reeds in the back. It's almost like one side of the reed is really supported and quite healthy, hydrated with water, and the other one's sort of like barren land and almost struggling, yet the reeds grow in both of them, I'll note. But there's the child kind of looking for guidance. This quest, as I even came to film this, actually now that I'm saying that, I went to put like the curtain up to just kind of create a bit more black space, and I have this stone here. It was up above. This is like a stone I painted a long time ago, kind of when I was first going into the whole Babalon energy, that red goddess energy, who would be identified as Bina. But it like fell from the ledge and it landed on the ground, and then it bounced up and landed up on top of the table that holds the lamp. Like probably what, like half a foot. I didn't really think, I mean, I guess rocks skip. That's okay. But this idea of this great mother, of this goddess being this sort of guiding light for us, especially as that feminine energy. So we just call to that golden blue. You know, she is known as the red goddess, but there's like this concept of the starry night that bursts everything. And this quest, I think, is for us to realize in this lifetime that everything can be considered, I guess, we can be linked to it in our balance of being receptive, being in responding mode, allowing the universe and the world to gift to us, and to be in the flow of the cycles. I think that's where those reads are coming in, the cycles of birth, death, rebirth, the cycles of the seasons, the cycles of the lunar, like moon cycles, this ebb and flow that happens within the ocean, even with the tides rising and falling. This is all part of this reality. And when we can embody that, that's what I was feeling this morning, was this quest, I guess, to embody this feminine flow. Instead of pushing against it, which many of you may be, pushing against, feeling the need to do things, feeling the need to accomplish, feeling the need to constantly be creating or like producing something out into the world, instead of allowing it to gestate. We have the joy card. This is like a beautiful expression of what this feminine energy can be. It's almost like she's dancing in those waters, in the waters of the great sea. And here she is, completely clothed in the joyfulness of these sunflowers, these daisies, or whatever they are. The beauty of nature engulfed there, and allowing herself to just kind of go within with closed eyes and embrace all. You know, I'm also seeing like her chest looks quite like, almost like large. It's like something about this nurturance and embracing of this nurturance of self. So we have the throat chakra with the blue and the quest card. We have the yellow chakra, solar plexus chakra with that joy card, which is technically our center of joy, of like happiness or confidence. If you're feeling low, you may desire to experience like the sun, or these flowers, this bright ball of light kind of emanating from the space just above your belly button, that solar plexus. And let that charge up and move your body. Find what makes you feel joyful. We have self-worth. This is a sacral chakra card, orange. Notice here too, in this card, there's like a snow angel. So this individual was playing in the snow, making a snow angel, and then this throne just manifested out of nowhere. This energy of play coming in here again. You know, the feminine really is a playful energy. The feminine is, you know, when we can be in the flow, that receptive sort of responding way of the world around us. It has a playfulness to it. It has a lightness to it. If you've ever made a snow angel, like you lay back and you literally like move your arms, you know, you can't like force it too much. Depending on the density of the snow, there's like a particular way in which you have to do it, and then to get up without kind of like messing up the angel that you've just curated. And I want to point out, both of these pictures have these like swirls of air. Here we see it, and it can be maybe a little bit more difficult. There's something here about air. I was reading yesterday actually about Enki and Enlil, the Sumerian gods. And the Sumerian god Enlil was considered like the god of the air and wind. So Enlil, there's energy there that wants to come through. Which in those stories, Enki and Enlil were brothers, and you know, there's sort of like these conspiracies, I guess we could say, that Enlil was or is considered the Yahweh God, and the God that was almost like enslaving humanity to be trapped within the confines of this world, to do the bidding of what the Anunnaki or whatever they are, these gods, came to do, was to create humans, use humans as like slaves. I don't know, some theory like this, to mine gold and other minerals and important precious metals. So whether we believe that or not, this idea of these two gods, almost opposing gods, one Enki and Enlil being the one that wanted to almost continue this enslavement, this trapping of the humans, and Enki, who is considered the one to have given the knowledge, given the insights to humans, often kind of deemed as the lens of like the serpent in the garden. He had a very reptilian, apparently, like appearance to him. So I don't know why I'm saying that. It's almost like we're having to break through the bonds. I'm actually just working on a video script outline kind of around this concept of Eve, Lilith, the serpent, what this all means. So I'm kind of seeing this tie here because as I'm going through that, like Babalon has been on my mind, the embodiment of her, which is like, I think a really powerful way to heal and step into a place of self-worth, to step into what we enjoy. Ooh, a card flipped here. And, it says to have faith that we are supported, to have faith that the things that you want are actually, in fact, the things that you can have. What I was going to say before that card flipped was this idea, being in intimate situations at times, I had this realization where it's like, I feel like as women, we don't really speak what we need. Not as much as like the masculine does, as like men, embodied men. And this isn't always true, obviously. There's men that also don't speak what it is they need or what it is that they want. But I feel like for women especially, this can be a challenge where you're ingrained or programmed so much. I think that's what these wispy strands are of the air, of that like suppressive energy, of that, dare I call it patriarchal system, but it's more than that. It's almost like harder to undo those programs and speak the things that we need or what we want or what's going to bring us the most desire, the most excitement or joy. And I realized that like I definitely am still touching up against it. It's like, how come it's like harder for me to speak it when I want something in like the bedroom or this like intimate experience, or to feel almost like this guilt around that. And this, all ties to the sacral chakra, that orange chakra. It ties to the sense of past lifetimes and collective energies of the feminine being harmed. With that being said, in this card, notice how majority of the people in the card are almost like feminine energies. So I just wanted to say that we are supported by both. I would say this being like Bina, the mother, the Holy Ghost. She's got the dove over her head, and the bride, Malkut, the Mother Earth. Those two aspects of nature. That's how I'm seeing it in the card right there. So we have this like amethyst purple stone or rock there on the ground there as the individual, which you could see as yourself is walking. And notice how this figure here is holding a cup, holding the Holy Grail. That is literally your womb space. So whatever that grail energy is, that womb space, what wants to come through with that for us? Like what I'm hearing is how the cup is like half full, half empty, how the cup is, in order to drink a cold glass or cold beverage, you would fill your cup up, you would drink it, it's going to be empty, and then you'd fill it up again. So something about this, of you filling up your cup, of you tapping into both like the figurative cup of like your womb and the energy that's inside of you, and also your nourishing cup, again, those breasts, the things that need to nourish your physical body. That will then impact your mind, your mental state, your spiritual well-being. We have the perfection card here. So I think for many of you, you're trying to get it like so perfect and so right. It's like tearing you down because there is no perfection, really. Like nature in itself, is just perfect the way it is. Even though like there's things amiss on the tree growing its branches, or the leaves, or the fruit that it comes, like there's no perfect way for which us as humans would say, oh, okay, if you have 100 leaves and 100 like fruits, then you're great. Like that's not the reality. The reality is that you were created exactly the way you were meant to be created, your blueprint. How you're feeling, what you're wanting to do, how you're wanting to show up in those places, it's all perfect. To me, this is kind of like this Babalon energy. She shows you that in all the beauty and in all the ugliness, everything is exactly the way it's meant to be. From there, we have that sense of acceptance of what's going on. Then we can be in this flow. We can recognize the sacredness inside of the self, which is that holy grail. That's why do you think the Templars, these all across time, these beings were wanting to, their human masculine energies were wanting to find this grail, protect this grail. It's more than just a physical object. We have the bittersweet. This is just showing it again. Like, look at the blues, the wispy airs, to very high, like, throat chakra energy. Something about speaking the needs, something about speaking the wants. It's coming out of her mouth. The bittersweetness of speaking what it is that we want or need. Yet the freedom that comes from that. You know, not everyone's going to be happy with what it is that you say you need or want. Not everyone's going to be happy when you explain, or not explain, but speak. Because I don't think you really have to explain why you're doing something or not doing something, why you're showing up in a particular way, or listening to your energy and maybe just taking the time to rest. This is about like shifting your approach and trusting this quest of life, this journey that you are on. Having faith that this is all about your individual healing and the collective healing of the feminine energy. We're going to pull one more card and just see what kind of lands on top. This is about cycles. These cards have been coming out a lot in the way of workaholic. For some of you, this may just be to be that final sign of like, you, and I get it because I definitely can be that workaholic energy. And I'm wanting to just remind you that it's something about proving worth. What I'm learning is like, it's like, oh my gosh, I need to create something. I need to put something out there, even a video or like ideas of something to make to show that worth in a way that was very like old paradigm. And this need to prove myself, the need to prove my worth, to prove the perfection. So whatever it is that you're feeling right now is heavily tied to, or the difficulty to be in the flow, to be in the pause, is tied to this energy of just being a workaholic. You not being okay with pausing. Again, this shows two individuals, like two grapes, but one's a raisin. There's like a marked difference between their appearance, masculine and feminine. One is doing the work here, the other one's kind of like directing, kind of like, okay, let's see, like, what can we, this is the beauty of masculine and feminine energy. Can you really step into your femininity here by being in these cycles, being in these pauses, connecting to this power of your womb? So many ways for you to do that, literally just standing or sitting, laying down, whatever feels comfortable, and feeling into your womb space, placing hands on your low belly, on your like pelvis area. And you can imagine there being a cup there, a chalice, and just imagine the earth filling that part with energy, and then energy, light streaming down from a sun or solar kind of star down through your crown into that womb as well, feeding it from both beneath and above. And let that start to charge for you. Let it be this internal like battery. This is where the intuition sits. This is where your inner knowing is. It's going to help you tap into so much greater. And it's going to help you to be in that flow, to heal the things that maybe have come from the past that still are wanting to be supported. Self-worth and joy, faith. So just inviting you to take a deep breath in. If you'd like to receive this energy that's sort of just flowing now, you can just by simply saying yes. And calling your guides, your angels, those beings that wish to support you in waking to the light and beauty that you are. Just noticing that chalice inside your womb. And even if you don't have a physical womb, I just want to speak that pelvic area energetically, that space, just becoming aware of it. And just speaking to that part that you are open to receiving and being in the flow of that. Kind of seeing this as like a vow or commitment ceremony between you and this part of you. Maybe you've been shutting it off, or kind of like there's been barriers put to keep it quiet because of pains or traumas that have happened. I just want to say that for those of you that that's the case, just trusting here that you are allowed to give yourself permission and to speak, hey, I want to heal this. I want to remove these blocks or disconnects or veils that seem to be kind of like covering this part of my body from other parts of my body and my awareness. And to do so in a way that's gentle and loving and compassionate. So with that, just imagine those veils being lifted. And even if you're having difficulties with that, just recognizing, okay, I realize I have these veils, these covers, kind of like masking this part of me. That's okay. I'm going to dedicate myself now to, as I move forward, be willing to do the work around this, to embrace what wants to show up with gentleness. I'm allowing myself to cry when I want to cry, or get angry when I want to get angry. With all these different emotions, ways of being, this is what Babalon, that red goddess energy, is about. She is the embodiment of all, not discriminating. I'm just asking those angels, those beings to support with just kind of fortifying, cleansing through, and then fortifying your auric field, your energy field, the energy centers in your body. And putting those rose crosses of protection around your energy field, so that that brightness can be an attractor of possibilities, but not let other things in. So to that, we call to that energy, Yeshua, Yeshua, Yeshua. Yeshua. Because that masculine energy, no matter what harm has happened, is still so needed to lift the feminine up. I think that's why many of you are feeling that call to like a soulmate. There's this desire for like the masculine counterpart. Taking a deep breath in. Just noticing whatever you're noticing in your body and your awareness. And whenever you're ready, opening eyes, returning here. So remember, you're allowed to be in the flow. There's a reason for everything, for every state. And all that you're going through is this quest, this journey of life, the hero's journey of evolving to your sense of perfection, whatever that is. You being you. So let me know in the comments if you'd like, share your experiences, go and journal about this, hold it sacred for yourself, obviously. And if you want to dive deeper into any of the work with the goddess Babalon, I do have a book. It's called Living the Great Mystery, Words from Babalon. And it was a channeled book that helped me just step into some simple rituals and exercises to embody that energy of the red goddess, of this femininity that is willing to just embrace herself and have this worth. So you can check that out. The description is in the link's in the description. The description's in the link. But yeah, I hope to see you guys again in another video. And until then, have a great day. Bye.